And with me right now from Harvard Eye Associates is Dr. Sonia Doot. And we're going to talk about a subject that people probably notice, not sure what they are, but they're called flashes and floaters. So welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, great to see you again. Now, I think people probably wonder every once in a while, and I know this is not uncommon, that you'll see little black spots when you're looking around. Of course, if you see that all the time, there's a problem. But all of us, for some time or another, will have that happening. I mean, I can remember that, you know, when I was younger, years and years ago, and actually going to sort of a science museum up in the Bay Area, and they had an exhibit on this, and they talked what it was when it was common. You know, again, we're not talking about something that has become a problem, which I know this can be. So tell me what flashes and floaters are.
So you're right, it's very common. Some people are lucky to never have experienced them, and great to them, but you know, most people over the age of about 65 and sooner, in people that are nearsighted, have floaters. And floaters are things that, you know, float around in your vision. Obviously are not there, but people may think there's a bug flying in front of them.
Yeah.
If they're trying to read, there's the little black spot that moves around. That's what we call floaters, and they can be long-standing and be there for quite a while. And flashes are exactly that, kind of a flash in the peripheral part of your vision. And it's a good idea if you have either of those to be checked. We really want to know if there's a change in those, because like I said, people can have floaters long-standing for a long time, but definitely important to be checked by an ophthalmologist at least once to make sure that there's nothing more serious going on.
Okay.
So the floaters live in the vitreous jelly in the back of the eye. This is kind of a picture of the normal anatomy of an eye. And you know, when we're born, the vitreous jelly is really solid, and it's firmly adherent to the retina, which is the nerve tissue in the back of the eye. With age, and like I said sooner, if you've had trauma to the eye or if you're nearsighted, that jelly kind of condenses in on itself, and it can separate from the retina. And when that happens, any of the cells that are living in that vitreous jelly, any debris, that's what the shadow that casts on the retina is what you see as floaters.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what you're seeing. The flashing is a little bit more of a concerning symptom, because that actually means that there's some sort of traction on the retina, and that could mean something more serious like a retinal tear or a retinal detachment. And so flashes are typically a little bit more concerning. Okay,
let me kind of go back a little bit with the floaters. As I said, I've experienced them. It's rare. But I can remember when I told you I went to that, it's called the Exploratorium up in the Bay Area. I remember going there and seeing that exhibit. I was probably in high school, maybe a little bit older. And my friend that was with me, and he's like, yeah, that happens to me too now and then. So what I'm getting at is that not uncommon even for somebody young to get that once in a while.
Correct, it is not uncommon.
Okay.
What I kind of wanted to talk about today was when the actual vitreous separates from the retina. We call that a posterior vitreous detachment. Happens, like I said, usually in the 6th to 7th decade of life, but can happen sooner if you're nearsighted. And sometimes it happens and patients don't notice any symptoms, but if you're seeing a ton of floaters, if you're seeing flashes that are new, it's important to get checked out, because 85–90% of the time when that vitreous separates, it separates without issue. But 10–15% of the time, it can rip a tear in the retina with it. And the concern with that is a tear in the retina untreated can lead to a retinal detachment like here. So you can see that the kind of triangular shaped area in the top left of the picture is a tear in the retina. And this one wasn't treated, so fluid can get underneath of it and separate the retina. At that point, it's a detached retina which needs surgery and can lead to permanent vision loss. So if a retinal tear is noted quickly, you can laser around it to kind of barricade off that area and prevent it from detaching. And so,
what would cause this? Is it trauma or just something that just could happen because of age?
Sure, so both. Trauma can certainly cause it. But a lot of retinal detachments happen at the time of that vitreous separating. People thinking it's, you know, kind of no big deal, and there's a tear in the retina, doesn't get treated, and can lead to a retinal detachment. And these are two different examples. On the left, that's a picture of a retinal detachment that's kind of sparing the central part of the vision. And on the right, you can see a more extensive retinal detachment, so more of the central part of your vision is affected and is much more of a poor prognosis.
Okay, and it tears because it's pulling away, and basically kind of like if you pull like your skin, or you pull something off something else, it pulls a little bit of the outside off.
So the jelly's really sticky and firmly adherent. So when it normally tears from or when it separates from the optic nerve, or the macula, that's not a problem. But as it's kind of condensing and pulling, it can rip a piece of the peripheral retina with it, and that's usually what predisposes people to have a detached retina. And so really the important thing is, like I said, a lot of people have been seeing floaters for decades. We want to hear about a change in the floaters. Are they happening more often? Is it a whole snowstorm of floaters? Is there flashes that you weren't necessarily seeing before? Certainly if there's like a curtain obscuring part of your peripheral vision, those could be signs that your retina is detaching, and you would definitely need to be seen by your ophthalmologist right away. Okay,
does the same condition cause both floaters and the flash?
Well, the floaters are the shadow of the cells that you see around the retina. The flash kind of usually indicates that there's some sort of active traction, which is why it's a little bit more of a concerning symptom to us.
Okay, all right.
And this is just a photograph of after a retinal detachment surgery has taken place, and the top half that looks kind of shaded is a gas bubble that gets put into the eye afterwards, and that kind of serves as a balloon to hold the retina in place after retinal detachment surgery. Okay,
now once you have it and it's successful, does full vision come back, or do you still?
It's dependent on how long it's been there and how extensive the retinal detachment was and how successful the surgery is, how timely the surgery was performed. So there's lots of things, but oftentimes after retinal detachment surgery, the vision isn't back to normal, no, unfortunately.
Okay, does that mean that if it's in that one eye that you may still be able to see, but there might be a cloudiness on one side, or like a shadow?
Your peripheral vision is significantly reduced, and you may still see distortion, and your central vision may just not be as great. Yeah, it just kind of depends on
it's
on a
catching
lot of
it early.
Factors. Exactly. So that's why it's important to recognize those symptoms and be seen right away.
Okay, if someone comes in, no problems with their eyes, but have a normal extensive eye exam, is this something that would be looked for, just part of it?
Correct. As long as their eyes are dilated, yes.
Right.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Very good. Thank you very much. And now people kind of know what that causes that, and hopefully if they're experiencing anything like this frequently, if it's once in a while, especially the floaters, a couple times a year.
Correct. Not so concerning, but a change in what you're used to seeing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Of course. It was nice
and
to meet you.
Harvard Eye, of course, you can get a hold of them at 951-2020. They're located just across the way over there, and great people, all of them. Love to have them on. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
Good to see you too.
We'll be back.